Welcome to Module 3 of the Childhood Feeding Collaborative online training, Helping Parents to Feed Well so Children Can Eat Well. This training is for community health workers, promotores, parent educators, or other staff who work directly with parents of young children. This training is created through the generosity of the Health Trust and supported by the Santa Clara County Public Health Department. Helping Parents to Feed Well so Children Can Eat Well and its parent education handouts and resources are part of the Public Health Department's commitment to prevent chronic disease in early childhood. This is the third of 4 30-minute-long modules. In this module, you will learn how to apply the division of responsibility to the toddler and preschooler, and you'll learn more about including children in family mealtimes. Please note that Module 3 learning tasks numbering is a continuation from past modules. For Learning Task 7, the worksheet Reflect on Your Learning, you will integrate past learning from Modules 1 and 2 with what you learn in Module 3. Learning Task 8 will apply the division of responsibility to toddlers and preschoolers and learn about the picky eater. Learning Task 9 will go into more depth with integrating the toddler and preschooler into family mealtimes. These 4 handouts are an important part of your learning and well worth the effort it takes to use them in the suggested manner. The worksheet, Reflect on Your Learning, requires your written input. You can type directly onto the PDF. Before starting this training, you should have downloaded this module's handouts and printed them out or saved them onto your desktop. If you have not done that, you need to pause this training and go back to the Module 3 webpage and open the handouts. Please access this worksheet now. Pause the training to do this. Reflect on what you learned in the first 2 modules. In column 2, write down how you've used this information with your clients or what you remember from those first 2 modules. Take 2 to 4 minutes to do this, then continue with the training. We'll complete columns 3 and 4 at the end of this module. We've explored the division of responsibility for the infant and transitional child. Now we'll learn how the division of responsibility is applied to older children. The focus remains on helping parents to feed well so children can eat well, rather than on fixing the child. This focus is needed in order to solve child feeding problems. Too often, parents and educators focus on fixing the child, on identifying what the child is doing wrong with her eating, such as not eating enough fruits and vegetables or eating too much or too little. Essentially, they are saying that the child is flawed, now fix her. Instead, the flaw lies in the feeding relationship. Parents cannot fix their child, but they can improve how they feed their child, and the child will respond. The American Academy of Pediatrics identifies Satter's division of responsibility as best practice parenting for feeding children. The United States Department of Agriculture and its Food and Nutrition Service, which administers WIC and the Child and Adult Care Food Program, includes Satter's division of responsibility in their core nutrition messages for young children. Please access the handout Ellen Satter's division of responsibility now. With the division of responsibility, parents provide a highly structured eating environment, and the child is given autonomy over his eating within that parent-provided structure. The division of responsibility is appropriate for all ages of children. It represents authoritative parenting style in which parents provide structure and allow child autonomy that relates to ever-changing developmental needs. We call these 5 domains the 5 keys. As we discuss how the division of responsibility applies to children, I ask that you keep in mind what we learned in Module 1 about how children learn. Children need parents to understand their unique learning style and speed, to know what their child is capable of learning, and to provide learning tasks that match the child's capability, to provide lots of opportunities to practice and learn new skills, and to trust that their child can learn. Let's learn about each of the 5 keys. Key number 1 requires that parents take responsibility for what food comes into the house and is served. Everyone is offered the same food. Children need to learn to be a part of the family at mealtime. This means that they learn to eat the same foods as their parents eat. The child doesn't have to eat all the food that the parents offers, but must be allowed to pick and choose from what is served. This sounds simple, but it can be hard to do with a toddler. The toddler will say no and may refuse to eat. The toddler will have tantrums over food. Remember, it will take lots of opportunities to learn a new eating skill and to accept the family rules. This key shows that the parent does not give in to their child when they beg for particular foods in the grocery store or at home. The parent may need to learn how to manage tantrums and other behaviors that disrupt the family meal. Giving in to the toddler does not support his learning. The parent is the toddler's teacher so that he can learn how to behave at the table and how to experiment with eating the family foods. However, parents do need to be considerate of the child by always including something at meals and snacks that the child generally eats, such as bread or tortillas. Key number 2, parents take leadership over when eating is allowed. This is true for both meals and snacks. Snacks need to be scheduled so that children arrive at the table hungry. There should be no food or caloric drinks consumed in between times. What I mean by parents should take the lead is that the parent doesn't ask the child, for example, "Are you hungry? Do you want to eat breakfast?" Instead, breakfast is served every day and the parent tells the child, "Breakfast is ready, it's time to eat." By placing priority on eating routines, children are more likely to arrive at the dinner table hungry, but not so hungry that they are fussy. This is important as foods served at meal times are generally healthier than those parents allow children to mindlessly snack on throughout the day. The toddler will naturally challenge this rule of when eating is allowed. By being consistent, parents teach their child that family meal and snack routines are important. When children are given food to manage their behavior, they learn to eat for emotional reasons. Key number 3, where eating is allowed. This key helps parents identify their rule for where food may be consumed. For the toddler and preschool-aged child, joining with the family at mealtime continues to help the child learn how to eat and be a part of the family. Parents remove television at mealtime by having rules about where eating is allowed. Turning off the TV during meals and snacks makes room for family members to talk and pay attention to each other. Ask parents where eating is allowed in their homes. It is the parent's responsibility to decide. This combination of what, when, and where provides a tremendous amount of structure and routine. Structure and routines must be in place in order for the child to learn to eat. These parent responsibilities create a positive learning environment. When the parent follows the division of responsibility during the toddler stage, the preschooler will be easy to feed. Keys 4 and 5 are the child responsibilities of how much and whether to eat from what is served. More and more research supports the division of responsibility in which children are in control of their own eating within a structured feeding environment. Parents find these keys easier to accept if they understand that it is normal for children to eat different amounts meal to meal and day to day. What they eat changes frequently. This is normal. However, these keys describing child responsibilities are the most difficult keys for you and parents to accept. People get hung up on these keys and see a free-for-all. You mean kids can eat whatever they want, whenever they want, and however much they want? Well, no, but they can pick and choose from what the parent offers and eat as much as they need to feel satisfied. And the child must follow the rules for eating only when and where food is offered. Teach parents that milk drinking belongs at the table. Milk should not be given in between scheduled meals and snacks to fill up a child who does not eat well at mealtime. For the transitional child learning to eat solids, excessive milk can spoil the child's appetite for solid foods. It doesn't take much practice for a child to learn to enjoy desserts. One serving is enough. By limiting desserts to one serving, the child does not fill up on them at mealtime and not have room for other nutritious foods. These limits support the division of responsibility because they support children's learning to eat a variety of foods. Let's now look at how the division of responsibility helps the picky eater learn to eat and keeps family mealtime pleasant. As we learned at this age, children's eating changes meal to meal and day to day. Their food preferences change frequently as well. In fact, surveys indicate that about half the parents describe their toddler as a picky eater. But Sean's pickiness has become a problem. He is upset about his eating and gets in struggles with his mother about it. You will watch a video of Sean and his family at mealtime, and you will see that yes, indeed, Sean is picky. As you watch, can you determine where the problem is coming from and what needs fixing? Is it Sean or feeding practices? Please click on the link embedded in the PDF for this module for how to handle the picky eater, or visit the Ellen Satter Institute website. Let's go now to the video. Remember, you can always pause this presentation to give yourself time to open and review the information within the link.
This is what you get. Ooh, some green beans.
See it?
I know.
Donut tray?
I know you didn't want green beans. I am going to get you noodles, you see, but you also need to eat the green beans, please. These are noodles. Do you see? These are noodles. I'm giving you noodles and green beans. That's a good one. Ooh, that's a nice big one. Mmm, yummy. Hey, look at that. You asked me for buttered noodles, but you're not even eating them, dude. Are they yucky today?
Oh, did you see your brother having watermelon? You want a piece of watermelon too?
Of course he does. Okay, 2 more bites of watermelon, and then 1 green bean.
And then 4 more bites of watermelon.
Okay, good. So 2 bites of watermelon, 1 green beans, and then 4 more bites of watermelon. Good times. I like green beans. I don't know why they don't like green beans. And then put it on your mouth really fast, and then drink some milk. Okay, put it in your mouth really fast, and then no, and then swallow some milk, quick. No, that trick's not working. That trick's not working today. Yeah. Green beans?
No, I'm done.
No.
Yummy.
Are you really full already?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you are. Can you wait for the rest of us to eat? Can you just sit at the table with us?
I'm full.
Okay, you can be full. You don't have to keep eating, but I'd like you to stay at the table.
I'm full.
I heard you say that you're full.
I'm full without you.
Yeah, but I'm...
In this list of 7 behaviors, this mealtime has none of the elements. Follow along with your handout. First, the parent is very involved with getting Sean to eat certain foods and limiting others. Sean's mom has decided on when and where eating takes place, but she has given in to Sean's picky eating by making noodles only for him. It would be better if she made noodles for the entire family. Next, Sean receives tremendous pressure to eat. His mom has decided how much and what he must eat. This makes both mom and Sean unhappy. Sean's mom doesn't need to cook special foods for him. She can include at least one food that Sean likes to eat at each meal and let him enjoy that food. This mealtime was not pleasant. Sean is picky and he needs a way to politely say no. All the pressure to eat makes it impossible for him to be polite. Faced with strong pressure to eat, many children will need to misbehave in order to get the parent to back down. And last, any encouragement Sean receives is overshadowed by all of the negative interaction. You'll see this video again with the narration.
get? Ooh, some green beans.
Jenny thinks 3.5-year-old Sean is too picky, and she works way too hard to feed him. Right from the start, she pressures him to eat the dreaded green beans. She also makes noodles especially for him.
These are noodles. Do you see? These are noodles. I'm giving you noodles and green beans.
Sean likes watermelon, but Jenny can't relax and let him enjoy it. She worries about the noodles.
Hey, look at that. You asked me for buttered noodles, but you're not even eating them, dude.
While she was cooking, Jenny asked Sean if he wanted noodles. Children don't know what they'll eat until the food is in front of them, and generally not even then.
Okay, 2 more bites of watermelon, and then 1 green bean.
And then 4 more bites of watermelon.
Okay, good. So 2.
Bargaining with Sean about eating is unpleasant for both of them and doesn't work. Who knows how many bites of green beans it takes to earn a few bites of watermelon.
Put it on your mouth really fast, and then drink some milk.
Sean tries to please Jenny, but those green beans are just too much. Jenny doesn't have to get Sean to eat, nor does she have to short order cook for him. Instead, she can let him choose what and how much to eat from what is on the table. At first, he'll avoid green beans and other foods he's been pressured to eat, but he'll start eating them again once he trusts that his eating is his business.
Are you really full already?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you are.
Sean might not be full, just eager to get away. Jenny wants the best for Sean, but struggling with him about his eating makes him eat worse, not better. Her interference contributes to his picky eating, and it can even make him eat less than he needs.
In this learning task, we'll explore how to master family meals for the toddler and preschooler. Research shows that parents value the family meal time and want to share that time with their children. However, many parents struggle with making meal times enjoyable and with teaching children how to behave at the table. I want to begin this learning task by sharing with you some of the research on the benefits of family meal times. In this study, published in 2010 in the journal Pediatrics, 3 family routines were assessed for their ability to reduce the risk of obesity among preschoolers. These routines are eating dinner as a family more than 5 times a week, sleeping at least 10.5 hours per weekday night, and limiting screen time viewing to 2 hours or less per weekday. Preschoolers whose families had all 3 of these routines were 40% less likely to be obese. Individually, these routines reduced the risk of obesity by 23 to 25%. The authors conclude with a recommendation to support parents in the adoption of these routines. This article compares 17 different studies to determine if the frequency of shared family meal times influences the nutritional health of children and adolescents. They found that when children and adolescents have at least 3 family meals per week, they are far less likely to become overweight, they eat fewer unhealthy foods, they have fewer disordered eating behaviors, and are more likely to eat healthy foods. These are very powerful associations. And the authors found that having 5 family meals per week was more beneficial than having 3 family meals per week. Every year, the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse asks teens how often they eat with their families. They find that teens who eat fewer than 3 family dinners per week are 2 to 4 times more likely to use tobacco, alcohol, marijuana, and try drugs in the future. No wonder the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse promotes family meal times. My take-home message from this study is there is no better time for a family to initiate family meals than early childhood. These researchers interviewed 20 low-income parents about what they thought were benefits and challenges of having family meals with their preschoolers. Here are 2 parent quotes. "It's kind of hard to sit at the table because my daughter's getting up to watch a cartoon on TV, so she'll run back and forth to grab another piece of chicken, and my son wants to play the game. so it's kind of hard to get them at the table, but I really do try. My house is chaos. I'll fix a family meal and plan to sit down and have it together, but my boys, they don't sit still to eat. They'll run here and there and come back, eat. In this small and well-conducted study, parents said that they wanted to have family meals with their preschoolers. They felt that family mealtime was an important time to build a relationship with their children. However, these moms need help with their parenting. Many of them never or rarely had a family meal as they were growing up. Notice how these parents' comments make the child the problem rather than their own parenting. Please locate this handout and pause the training as you read both sides. Are you upset by this photo that it does not represent a healthy meal? I purposely use this fast food meal photo to make a point. For some of your clients, this photo represents a usual meal. Put yourself in such a client's place as she struggles to get her children to even sit down to eat. Now think how you react to being told that your child needs to eat vegetables, whole grains, and lean meat at mealtime. Do you feel overwhelmed? Your educational priority is to make it easier for these families to be successful. And remember, the research shows that people who eat family meals eat more healthy food and less unhealthy food. So I ask you to be patient with this family as you help them learn how to have family meals. This handout can guide you. The steps are practical and are a sequence for getting started. They build upon whatever skills the parent currently has. I suggest that you first teach the division of responsibility so that your client can learn about her role in providing structure and her child's role in eating. In Module 4, you'll learn specific tips to help parents with specific challenges. Once the parent is successful with scheduling meal times and her family has learned to sit and enjoy each other, you can suggest that she add a vegetable to whatever else she is serving. The division of responsibility and family meal times are interconnected. You saw this slide in Module 2. I want to remind you that a family meal is more than what a child eats. It is also all of these social components. The family meal is the place where the feeding relationship unfolds and where the child learns to enjoy eating. When parents interfere with what or how much a child eats, mealtimes become stressful for both parent and child. I want to talk about food restriction as a part of our discussion on mastering family meals, in part because of the negative mealtime environment it creates. Research is consistent that food restriction harms children. The American Academy of Pediatrics is clear in their recommendation to parents that they avoid food restricting their child. Food restriction leads to increases in food intake, increases in a child's body mass index or weight. It has an exaggerated effect on overweight children, and restriction is used more often with overweight children. Parents often restrict their child from eating certain foods or certain amounts as a result of what they hear from others, including family members, healthcare providers, health educators, or childcare providers. The recommendation is made with good intent. However, the impact on the child is harmful. Food restriction backfires. Children become afraid of going hungry and overeat when they get the chance. Here is what food restriction looks like. It is getting children to eat certain foods, such as only low-fat foods. This can be a way to restrict the child from higher-fat foods like salad dressing or butter. It is getting children to eat more or less, depriving children of certain foods, and not letting children eat as much as they are hungry for. Now think about a mealtime in which a child is restricted in one of these ways. In addition to the harmful impact on the child, food restriction makes mealtime stressful and less pleasant as a result. Notice that this slide uses the word get. In Module 2, we talked about how getting a child to eat is pressure. both pressure to eat and food restriction try to get the child to eat more or less or differently. Be aware of your own use of this word when you educate parents. Are you unintentionally recommending pressure to eat or food restriction? Watch the next video with 3-year-old Jacqueline and her family. This is an interesting scenario because although Jacqueline's parents follow the division of responsibility, Jacqueline is left out of all of the relationship building that is such an important element of family mealtime.
Three-year-old Jacqueline likes to watch TV while she eats. The rest of the family is in the dining room sharing their meal. Jacqueline does eat, although she's paying close attention to her video. Another child would be too distracted to eat. Jacqueline asks for more food, and her mother gets up to give it to her. A second time, Jacqueline asks for more, and her mother gives it to her. A pattern is developing. It seems that whenever Jacqueline gets attention, it's focused on food. If this pattern continues, Jacqueline will learn to eat for attention, and it'll be hard for her to know how much she's hungry for. This time, Jacqueline wants Rosalva to look at Tinkerbell. Rosalva calls Jacqueline's attention back to her food. The grown-ups are talking and laughing, and Jacqueline seems to realize she's missing out. But she's stuck. Her only way of joining in is to ask for food. Watching TV during mealtime spoils things, sometimes in surprising ways. Jacqueline's grown-ups are trying to be good to her. However, what she really needs is for her mom to bring her to the table so she can enjoy eating with the others. Jacqueline will put up a fuss when Rosalva first turns off the TV, and may even have tantrums. Those tantrums can be safely ignored. She'll do better when she's included in the family meal. Afterwards, someone can sit with her and share her enjoyment of Tinkerbell.
Please access your Module 3 worksheet. Pause the training while you do this. Reflect on what you have learned. This time, you will use columns 3 and 4 to record your thoughts and to describe how you can use the concepts to support your clients in having pleasant family meals. On the Childhood Feeding Collaborative online homepage, additional program materials are accessible in the Resources folder. The Resource folder includes classes and other resources to which you can refer your clients. You'll also find useful websites and trainings to further your understanding of how to help parents feed well so children can learn to eat. You may wish to continue now with Module 4 or take a few days to practice what you learned before returning to take Module 4.